Good morning, class. I'm hoping you guys are doing well, and I also hope that you guys are taking the time to watch these YouTube videos of me going through these notes with you. Remember, all of these practice assignments are not officially graded. However, all of these practice assignments are going to help you with your one graded assignment. As you guys are going through that PM assessment at the end of the week, make sure you are using all of your notes. Every single example that you see on PM Students, we cover throughout the week. So just make sure you guys are watching these videos because it will really help you guys out. Okay, so these are the notes that you guys took. This is the video for completing the square. There were 4 examples. It's kind of a long video. They went through and did it with algebra tiles, so I'm going to represent that with just markers here. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing that they always do is they take these terms right here and they're using their algebra tiles to kind of try to organize them. So I'm just going to make a little table and try to save as much space as possible. So here's my little table. I'm going to represent the x squared with just a blue square. All right, so my x squared term is the blue square. I'm just going to write x squared right inside of it just so we know. And then what we're going to do, I have a 8 x's, and it's a positive 8x. So they always want you to take this. It's going to be an even number for you guys, and they want you to evenly split it up. They want you to put 4 x's up on the top going vertically here, and they want you to put 4 x's going horizontally next to it. So I'm breaking up that 8. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to represent that just with some lines here, and then I have 4 going this way as well. All right, so our whole goal of this is to figure out what I need to complete this square. All right, so I'm looking for the ones units. Now, how many ones can I put in here if I were to lay them all out? Before I get into that though, I also don't want to forget about this plus 4. So this plus 4, I'm just going to add over here on the side, just with 4 little dots. 2, 3, 4. All right, 4 little dots. Don't want to forget about that. Okay, so if I were to do this, I'm going to use green dots again because they're positives. I can put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I can add 16 dots. All right, remember, I can do this because I have 4 columns here and 4 rows. That's why I'm getting a row with 4 dots in. All right, so I technically added 16 1 units to this side right here. Now remember, these are kind of like on opposite sides right now. All right, since I added 16, I technically don't want to change my problem, so I'm going to have to subtract 16 over here. Obviously, you don't have to make all these dots. You can write minus 16. I'm just showing you a visual here. We'll speed up here in the next couple of examples. Okay, now we're going to get into writing out the problem. All right, so on this side right here, I have an x, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 units. So it's just x plus 4. All right, looking up top, this is the length of an x, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 units as well. If you do this correctly, this will always match up with this. All right, last couple steps right here. I want to now write this out using my math here. If I were to combine these values over here, I have 4, and then I have a negative 16, which gives me a negative 12, right? If I were to combine all of these, positive 4 plus a negative 16, I get a negative 12. So final answer here is I have x plus 4, but I have 2 of them, right? So I write squared, right? X plus 4, I have 2 of them. And then I just tally along that minus 12. All right, so now what we just did, this is my final answer here. We took this equation, which was in standard form, and we wrote it in vertex form using completing the square. All right, every single question is identical to that. All right, so we're gonna kind of speed through this just a little bit. I'm gonna do maybe one more of these, and then I'm going to go through and hopefully kind of give you guys a little shortcut here. So kind of the same setup. Let's go through. Let's make our table. All right, we have 1x squared, so I'm going to draw a nice blue square here. Now this one's a little bit more cumbersome because I have 22 of these x's. Remember, you always want to split it evenly. So half of 22 is 11, and it's also a negative 22. So I'm going to use a red bar here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Pretty crazy with algebra tiles. Hopefully I can fit these 11 in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, just fit it in there. Okay, and then I don't want to forget about that positive 1 that I have over here. So I'm just going to write +1 just on this right-hand side. It's kind of out of my box. All right, once again, I'm looking for how many single dots can I put in here. If you notice, I have 11 columns and 11 rows. The way that I can get that very quickly is just by doing 11 times 11. But remember, it's a negative 11 times a negative 11, which, if you are using a calculator, is a positive 121. Let me use a green here. All right, so I have a positive 121. All right, since I added 121 to this left-hand side, I gotta make sure I subtract it on the right-hand side. You're always doing the opposite. Since I added 121 to get all of this space right here, right? This is full of 121 dots. I gotta make sure I subtract them over there. All right, final little step here. I wanna go through and I wanna write down what I have on these columns. I have a 1x and I have negative 11 of these. Same thing up here, I have 1x and I have a negative 11 of those. Final answer, x minus 11 squared, because I have 2 of them. And then 1 plus a negative 121 is a negative 120. There we go. Final answer. That is my vertex form equation. All right, we're going to do one more together. I'm going to leave that last one there for you guys. If you would like to email it to me, I can check it off for you. Once again, it is not a grade. It's just going to only help you with your assessment at the end of the week. All right, so one more time here, make our table. We have a 1x squared. It's always going to be 1x squared. It's never going to be anything different than that. All right, I have a negative 18x. I want to split that in half, so I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I have a negative 4 over here. Right, I always put that C term kind of off on it by itself. All right, and then my whole goal here is I am looking for how many ones units can I place in here. I'm going to take a negative 9 and multiply it by a negative 9, and I get a positive 81. So there are 81 single points in here. Since I put a positive 81 in that box, I got to come over here and make sure I subtract 81, right? You want these guys to offset. If you add these two, you get 0, right? If we added this positive 16 and that negative 16, we got 0. If I add a positive 21 and a negative 121, I get 0. They will always cancel out. All right, last step, let's come up here and write out our column in our row here. We have 1x and we have a negative 9 because we have 9 red bars. Up top, we have an x and we have a negative 9. The reason why this is just an x is if I take an x times an x, I get an x squared. If I take an x times a negative 9, I get negative 9 x's, so the vertical bars and stuff. All right, let's finish off our answer here. We have x minus 9 twice. And then if I add a negative 81 and a negative 4, I get a negative 85. And now I am in vertex form, and I use completing the square for it. All right, guys, please view this video. Make sure you send me an email with this answer if you want me to check out your work. Have a great day, guys. Bye.